FraudTax Audio. We're sitting here with AnnonXL.
Yeah.
People say it wrong all the time, right?
AnnonXL.
AnnonXL is not the way you say it.
Yeah, AnnonXL.
Good to have you here, man.
Nice to be here. This is an amazing apartment.
Yeah, thank you. It's
Yeah.
nice to stay outside. You got the breeze and got all the...
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
This is nice.
How's life, man? How's life been treating you lately?
It's been treating me, and I've been treating myself,
Yeah?
too. Yeah.
Yeah?
It's been nice. Yeah.
Been in good spirits, positivity and all that?
Yeah, all
Jazz?
of that. I mean, like, last week, I had a fever from, like, Tuesday until Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Right, so I was bedridden. It was dramatic.
Wow,
To say
yeah.
the least.
Crazy.
It's truly dramatic.
Now you're back at it, man.
Yeah, I'm back at it.
How's
Yeah.
the music, man? I listen to a lot of your stuff, and it's really good. Like, you've got real talent. Like, what's it like being, like, musically driven? And I'm sorry, that was a weird question.
No, I mean, it's a thing to ask. I mean, sometimes it's not fun because it's like it's all you can think about. Like, you know, and it's especially like if you're in like project mode, and then when you're not in project mode, it's like, well, I feel like I should be. And so it's just kind of like there's always just like this constant calling of like just like of making like you should be making something new, or you should be making something like you know, that's different and like from what you've done and whatever. So it's like the call of the sea can be very alluring, but then also just like dangerous as fuck. So, yeah.
Do you find yourself happy with your finished products, like be it songs or full projects or?
Yeah, I'm always like, you did that, you know, even with what we're listening to now, which was like dropped in 2016 and I was graduating high school.
Okay.
Yeah, Shades of Dope, like I can look back on it. I'm not like cringing. I'm just like, oh, this was a moment. This was a time period in my life. This had to happen. Like, and there was music before this that came out that I had to take down. It was too much. But it was just.
Where is that one at? Is that like on the Bandcamp or something?
No, it's just not there anymore. But like, yeah, there's definitely like, you know, every project is like, this was necessary for this time period, and then this was necessary for then, and this was really necessary for then.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. So, how long ago did you start making music? Like, have you always been a musically inclined person?
No. I mean, like, okay, so I'm a church kid, so like, you grew up around like musicians and stuff like that. But I wasn't a very good church kid, so like, I wasn't there very often. So, like,
same.
Yeah. So like, I really wasn't paying attention about like all the awesomeness that was probably going on around me and like the singing and stuff like that. Like my mom is a singer. She sings on her, like, she's always just been a singer. Like she used to drag me to like cafes, like the Christian cafes and stuff like that, and I'd be out at all times of the night where children shouldn't be out. Like literally going Friday nights after school. It's just like, I'm like, I know it's coming tonight. I'm gonna go to those cafes. Time to go to a cafe. But like, I mean, you know, that was her way of like, you know, networking before like there was any social media. Like that's like how you did it. Like, you know, you just went out and just always out every weekend. And then Sundays it didn't stop. It was time for church. And then so like, you know, in music it's always been around me in that sense. However, like when I got to middle school, it was like no. There was no singing. There was no. I got really into Lana Del Rey. Okay. It was like it was a moment, and it was a moment in my life. Where'd
you grow up?
I grew up in Delaware County, so Delco, like, which is right out, literally on the outskirts of Philadelphia.
Outskirts of Philly.
Yeah, in like Yaden, Darby, Lansdowne. I got friends
that live in Yaden.
Yeah, it's a community, but like mostly, but we do everything in Philly, so it's like, but we moved there when I was in 4th grade, so that was like 2007, I believe. Okay. So yeah, we've been there for like 10 years, over 10 years.
That's what's up. Did you? Are you in Philly now? Did you?
No, I'm still there.
Still there?
Still there. Yeah, because of school.
Yeah. So you go to school out there?
No, I go to school here. Okay. Where you go? And I go to Temple University.
That's what's up.
Graphic design.
Graphic design? Yeah. Hell yeah.
Not many people know that.
What are your ambitions with that?
It's just a job to get to have, like, while I do this.
Because everybody needs it. You gotta have
You have to have. And I just love money. I love it so much. So I have to have it, like, in really great proportions. So.
Right.
Yeah, but I also I was like, I need to go to school. However, I don't want to go for something that I don't want to go for. And so it's like, what is there? I was already like, my school had like this extensive art program, and like they started you out in 9th grade, and then like you kind of develop into like they prepped you for AP art in your senior year. But however, I didn't do that. I just did the independent study because I was like, there's no pressure. Like they had to make like 24 pieces by the end of the year, and I was like, no. No, you can't. I'm not, no supply and demand for me.
Right.
No. So I was like, they were like, yeah, like, someone who I grew up with, she's like 7 years older than me, but like I grew up with her. And like she went to Drexel for media studies, but basically graphic design, like a lot of, she did for like coding and stuff like that and programming, but to me I would just thought it was graphic design. And so I was like, I'm going to go to school for graphic design since I already have like an art sense and stuff like that. And so I just went, applied. I didn't submit SAT scores. I just did a little essay, boop boop boop, and then they were like, come on in.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So that'll probably help you in like going on the line too. You can keep your art kind of more in house, and
like I mean, nothing won't get past me. I'm like the most anal person when it comes to typography, when it comes to like hues and saturations. I'm just like so like I'm just like anything that I do, like I have to be a part of it.
You have your hands in.
Yeah, I have to. I literally have to.
Yeah, it definitely keeps it more authentic, man.
Yeah.
Are you involved in any other aspects of like your music, like producing? Like, obviously.
So I started making music in 2015.
Okay.
But on just my iPad, and it was like very experimental, just very like cheesy. However,
were you using like GarageBand?
Yes, literally GarageBand. How'd you know?
I'm using GarageBand right now.
Yes, GarageBand is it. And so I was using GarageBand and like maybe a couple of apps that I could find that were like compatible with GarageBand. Everything had to go through GarageBand.
Yeah.
Because I had an iPad, so like there wasn't I didn't have a computer either. So I was just like experimenting and stuff like that. And like eventually I just started producing out of like everything was out of necessity. So like, I didn't think to like try and go and get beats from like YouTube or whatever, stuff like that. Like everything that I did, all of this stuff that like I just made like by hand. And it's like just I would be amazed at like the stuff like, oh crap, like that's dope. I feel like when you're starting out somewhere, you have like really like you have no limitations. Like you have no like expectations. I feel like it's good to like start off as DIY because it's like you get to make stuff that like not many people are thinking of because it's like you're this baby, like you know what I'm saying?
The probability of someone making something like what you're making
like
at
exactly
that get-go spot is just,
I'm listening to this beat now and I'm like, wow, like what I'm saying? This was a moment. Like it was like this is me just starting off, like you know what I'm saying? And I was using the mic on the iPad. I learned how to finesse that. Yeah. Like literally, just like making the most out of what I have, basically. And so like I produce all of my work. Even I think with this last project, I really got into like collaboration with other producers or like other art instrumentalists. And like it was like weird for me. I was like, this is interesting. Like I'm not doing everything. But collab. But like I got really, really great tracks for the ones that I did. So it's kind of just like. But I was like, I have to have my hand in every single thing. So like, I'm gonna do something. I will be there. I don't.
Curate.
No one just like sends me beats and just like let me write to them. Right. No, I have to.
Like you
I won't
tweak
do that.
Something.
I have to. We have to either, if you want to produce with me, like you have to meet with me, and we'll either make something together, or like if it's something I like, I'm going to come in and I'm going to tweak something and I'm going to add something. Like I'm going to be a part of everything that I do.
Right.
I think that's a part of like astrology or something like that.
No, I mean it's just being an organic motherfucker.
Like
you want to have like your hands in it.
And every single
the ground up.
Period. Yeah. Like I just have to. It's like, and like even in all the videos that like the first music video we did for Dim the Lights, like I did all of the editing. Like I just had my godmother. She shot it really nicely.
Wow, really?
Yeah, she shot it, and I told myself After Effects or I think it was Premiere. Premiere is what you use. I told myself Premiere, and I because I'm also like. I edit all my like photos whenever like my friend does photography for me or anybody does photography, like I'm always editing the photos, mostly because like I have that eye like with design and stuff like that, so I know when stuff. I just know when everything looks right and I know when everything looks the best. So like I taught myself coloring and editing for that video. And I was like, okay, I was just like, if anyone just teach me what are my limitations. Like, she was like, just make sure you don't get the camera in, like, any other, like, don't add any shots of, like, if you can see the camera, like, a reflection or something like that. Okay, cool, like, boundaries. There you go. And
right,
then, like,
right. That's a good way to look at that, yo.
Yeah, like, I never want to be clueless to, like, something, like, whether it be dance or anything. Like, I just want to know when everything is, like, good.
Right,
Like, this is how this is supposed to be done, and now how can I break those barriers, but, like, in a good way.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But in a creative way.
Yeah, in a creative way. Yeah.
That's
basically.
what's up. So when was the jump from, like, all right, I'm musically inclined, I have these lyrics in my head, I have this music in my head, I'm going to start recording now. I'm going to start putting it all together now and building projects. And, like, how long was that? This is a two-part question. How long was that before you put your first thing online? You know?
Okay.
And what was that process like?
It wasn't, I think, like, when we grow up, we always say, like, you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, or you want to be famous. Like, it's one of those three things. Doctor, lawyer, I want to be famous. Like, and so...
Your mom's like, you better be...
You better one, two, or three. And, like, you never start thinking realistically until you get to, like, a point in college where they're like, okay, what do you want to do with your life for real? Like, what do you want to do when you grow up? So... It wasn't like really, it was like, I'm gonna be famous one day. I just don't know how, you know, like, I don't know how, like, and then I just started, picking up singing, like, I was always able to sing. I knew that, but, like, I put it down for a while because of, like, that depressive stage that you go through in middle school. Yeah. And, like.
That discovery is depressive phase.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're talking about.
But, like, I put it down. But I started picking it back up in my sophomore year. And so, like, I spent that year, the first year I learned piano, like, in my freshman year. Like, I was, like, going straight home, no homework, nothing. Just, like, go right to the keyboard and just start playing. And so I feel like everything was, like, slowly leading up to, like, these skills. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, my freshman year, I started, like, I just engulfed myself completely within piano. And then the second year, it was... like, singing. Okay. And then my junior year, GarageBand, I found GarageBand. So it was, like, put first year and second year together. And, like...
Yeah, you got the extracurricular college courses and
exactly.
Shit. Yeah.
So it was like, and I'm not even talking about, this was high school. So this is like, freshman year of high school and then sophomore year. And then, so I found GarageBand and it was kind of just like, it just made sense. I'm like, okay, you made something. At first, I don't think I dropped in, I like put anything out onto like the internet. It was just like, just me sending it to like,
your friends
mostly family, because my godmom, she used to like, she was a rapper. Everything is Christian, so like she was a Christian rapper, and so like I had like I had knowledge of like that she was like I knew she knows about music, so I was like, what do you think about this? And then like I can pull up the emails and just like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is going on? Like, what is this? Like, it was so like experimental, like so much reverb everywhere, nothing makes sense. It was just like this. Literally that picture of like just a sea of just like underwater, everything was just lo-fi, super duper lo-fi, and they were just like, it was super dark too because I was coming out of that, like everything that I had known was like Lana Del Rey, so it was like everything has to be sad, everything has to be deep and introspective, and they were just like, this is alarming. My whole family, and they were just like,
so did they have like a support for your music and stuff?
No. No.
What?
No. It wasn't until like I started making like trying to make more contemporary like modern music and like started like, I feel like 2014 and 2015 was like, the prime of like super duper trappy like stuff like that, and so I started like getting in making those type of beats, and then like my lyrics started to like make some type of sense, and it wasn't all over the place because I would just like hop on whatever I've just made because I'm like, this shit is fire, and like this shit is super duper fire, and just start singing anything on the track. So like, there was like, I'm not gonna say that they weren't supportive. They were definitely like, they were just concerned. They were just very much concerned about what I was singing and like what was going on and like what was coming, like what I was.
But that was like a primary like mode of expression for you probably at that time.
Oh yeah, it was like, I'm like, I just get to make something that's like, that's just mine. Like it's mine. Like I can say that I made this like literally from scratch. I hit the buttons to make the beats, the
Right.
808s and stuff like that. I did that. Like, I sung on it.
Yeah.
You know, it was a very like instrumental time. You know, that time period of like discovery of music. So I didn't put anything out. However, probably until I think I started messing with music maybe like March of 2015. I don't think I put anything out until like, when do you graduate, or like when do you school end? It's in June. Maybe?
In June,
yeah. So like whenever, it was like end of May, like June. I was always, even back then, which is why I know you, to your point earlier, you said that like your music sounds like for this type of weather.
Yeah, for this type of weather, yeah.
I've always been deeply like inspired by like summertime. Like,
yeah,
I
like
don't
the spring into like
spring
from
into summer.
From the winter into like spring, and from the spring into the summertime.
In all of my music, I never acknowledge winter. I never acknowledge
that's
winter or fall,
interesting.
because it's just a very like, for me, it's a very depressing time period. Like, this is when I have literally all of my best memories, or like, I don't know, like,
it's like the energy.
Yeah, the energy
there.
of like summer, and like being able to go outside and like just really just experience everything that happens. Like, I never get upset in the summertime. Like, if I miss a train, I never get upset, because I'm just like, okay, I just get to spend more time outside.
Right.
Like, it's just so much harder for me to get upset or to like be troubled by anything in the summertime and springtime, because everything is just so beautiful around me just naturally. So it's like I put all of that into my music. So like, I'll never mention snow.
Yeah.
I'll never mention an autumn leaf or like a dying leaf, because I just don't want that energy in my music.
I understand that.
And if you hear it in there, just know that something's deeply wrong. Something is going on.
Do you deal with like a seasonal affective disorder type thing?
Last year it hit when I was like making Teen Angst. It was hitting, like,
okay.
That shit was hitting hard, like, because I was like, and every time, like, in 2015, when I was like I put out my experimental stuff, where a couple people from school heard it or whatever, and that was just like it. And then the following year, 2016, when I was like more out and about, trying to do more stuff in the city, but like, not really.
I understand.
Yeah, like no, but that was like, I released in that May. I think it was May 26th was the drop date, and then Jump came out literally June 21st, the first day of summer.
Okay.
And then so like I already had this release schedule of like summertime. Like,
yeah.
It's like, that's like, and then I feel like because I'm such a smaller artist, I don't have the luxury of like releasing stuff in March or in April, and then it gets super duper like James traction by the summertime. It's like kind of just like, you got to put it out when you want to,
right.
at the time period when you want it, because it's like, like,
I mean, it's for that time, that's kind of the luxury of being like an authentic artist. It's like, I keep saying that.
Yeah, no, there's just
no
machine behind.
though?
Yeah, I know. There's no machine behind it. Like, you and us independent. Like, we'll just say being independent, like completely independent. You get to make them call the shots. There's nobody like pressuring you.
Right.
Just,
like this is the best strategic time for this.
And it could be an awful time. Like, they'll tell you like, okay, yeah, like once you get to those labels and stuff like that, we got to put it out in April, or we got to put it out in March or whatever. And it's like, that's not.
Yeah, that's not how I feel.
That's not how I feel about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not how I feel. Like, who knows? Like, it's not. Some shit, like, it'll hit you, like, when you make stuff, this is supposed to hit you. This is supposed to be for this season, and, like, when you see it. And so when you release something before the time period, it's like, that's how you get, like, people like, oh, I don't think I like it, or whatever. Like, it wasn't for me or whatever, because it's not for the time period yet. So it's like, then your people are already turned off, or, like, they just didn't want to, like, deal with it. Like, maybe Solange wanted, maybe she saw, like, this shit, her new shit for like a summer like this is supposed to be in the summertime and stuff like that, but it's like, people are saying, I don't know how you can say anything bad about it, but like, people who are like not into it, it's just like, oh, it's not the time period yet, maybe that she wanted. So it's like, you just kind of have to. That's what's nice about being independent. Like, you get to do that.
Show whatever you want to do.
Do what you want to do.
Let's talk about your process when it comes to like songwriting and stuff like that. You have really interesting lyrics, and like listening to stuff. You don't think so? Everybody, he doesn't think. No, I mean, it's like a colorful. I'm trying to do a specific example. I don't want to go like, because I already told you I like that song. But in a lot of your music, like you paint like a vivid picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a very imagery. I rely heavily on imagery and metaphors in my music. So you want me to test that? Like,
yeah, just I mean, like, what do you like when you go down to write? Are you usually in like I need to get this off me now, or I feel this way, or when I looked at the light this way, it inspired this metaphor and like, tell me your process, like. When it comes to writing, you more like a freestyle type person. You make the music, you produce your thing, and you go in what you know, or you like, do you have stuff in like, or is it a combination of two? I don't know.
So, like I said, like when I was first starting out, it was like anything off the dome. Like I just make the song and just sing on it. Like there's no writing, there's no like sitting down, like being like outside and like writing on a pad. Like there's none of that. That's none of the stuff that I do now. Like and
swear, like
just like very Moesha about the situation. No, it was just like shit's fire. I gotta get this out, and whatever comes out, and then try to make sense of it later.
Yeah,
and then like I was doing that, and then I got better at it. So by the time I had dropped this project that we're listening to, Jump, it was like I was very good at it, and so it was like it was easier to make more sense out of stuff. Like this one, I just started singing. Like I heard this. I'll either start singing a line, and then maybe I might go and write around it, but like I may write just like 2 lines and then freestyle the rest or whatever. But like I just got really good at like just freestyling. But when it came to this most recent project, Teen Angst, I was like no, like everything has to be said with precision and with purpose. So like I took my time. Like I wrote out every single line. It's like every line is like, even if I ended up saying it a different way or like adding a word or taking out a word, due to like the spacing of it, it was like everything that I said. Like I'm like, whoa, why did you say this? Like does this make sense? Like can it relate to you or someone else? Like so, it was much more of a process of just like. It just everything. I didn't want to leave anything up to chance anymore. Like while it's fun to just be inspired by a beat and but like I think the difference was like I was making like really really great beats like for the last project. So which is like I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to mess these up because like,
I gotta go come with the fire.
And I started collaborating with like my keyboard player Micah Graves. Shout out Micah. Like I met him. We did I had a show for More Show Than Talk. This is that live performance that's on YouTube. And I hadn't seen that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty dope. I love More Show Than Talk. So like literally that night after we finished recording it, I went to his dorm and like we just started making something. I had like a progression that I was working on, but it was like very elementary. And he's a jazz major at Temple as well. Okay. So it's like you say his mind is like you say something and he's like, oh, did you mean this? And I was like, so we were creating that chemistry that night. And so like we got like this song, like this chord progression, and I was just like, this is really like, this is some shit. Like I had to sit down, and that was like the Flower song, the first song that's like on it. Like that's what we came up with. And so I went home. It was just I believe it was only chords. He wanted me to like do the beat there, but I'm a person where like I'm all about like just like I'll wait. So like we were at like, I could have made the beat there. Like that's how it goes. Like with our chemistry, he'll put down the progression, or like I'll sing something, and then he'll sing around. He'll play around it. He'll put down the progression, and I'll go home and do the beat. He tends to be like very soulful, like Moonchild, neo soul about his and the way that he produces his work, and like I'm very much more like fun and like sporadic. Like I just like taking things that don't make sense or you may not think of and like putting them together, and to make a new like a new genre, a new sound or something like that, and it works out. That's our chemistry. But it was just mostly like the way that I wrote for this, it was just mostly like I just have some dope ass beats, and I'm just like I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to leave anything up to chance however like I really like the other songs that I've done. It was just kind of just like. Thank God it turned out how it did, But like I think, and that's also why I think that was a part of like the seasonal depression. Like my writing may have been inspired by that because it's like when I did write, it was good, but it wasn't often that I was able to write. Like you know what I'm saying? So I was like really affected. I was talking to my friend Alina all throughout how she was going on. She was just helping me, like getting me through. She was like, "You got it," And like I was unsure about everything. That was the worst part about that project like process. It was just like I was just so unsure about every single. I'm like, I don't know. What if it's not good? What if it's not? And it's just like looking back, I was like, no, like it was what it was. Like it was good.
Is that? Excuse me. Is that what? I don't know. Does that like help? Is that like an effector when you go and decide to kind of wait on stuff? Like when you're unsure if something's like top product or not, do you like then put it on the back burner? Like, okay, maybe work on something else for a little while and come back to this and have a different perspective. Do you think
it's probably one of my favorite top 5 ways that I sabotage myself.
Yeah.
Like just like waiting and like saying like, oh, like, you know, it's ripening. I'll say like it's ripening, like it's, you know, because I'm a huge believer that everything happens when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah,
so like nothing will happen. If anything happens, if I lose something, it helps. It's first of all, it's a huge coping mechanism, but it's also just like, you know, like it's true. Like if it's not supposed to happen, it really will not happen. So a lot of times it may be people may call me lazy or like a procrastinator, but like it works out for me because
I mean,
like
you have proof too, you know.
Yeah,
like
I literally have proof. Like whenever I'm like going to something, you know, if I've waited for a while or I'm just like, okay, it's finally happening, it happens very well. It goes very well, and it's like whenever I find out that I've rushed things or like out of just like, oh, it just not.
You realize like, oh man, if I had take 2 seconds to do
if
this, things would have been a little
exactly
different. Yeah, I definitely understand it. And like when you're saying like things happen when they're supposed to happen, and I want to add like something to that. I always believe like things happen when they're supposed to happen, and when they happen, that's probably the best time for it.
Yeah,
to happen.
because it's supposed to happen.
That's the only way you can think about that. You know what I mean? Like I can't be like, oh man, like what if this wasn't the right time? Like
yeah, you can't. No one ever says that. like when if it's an opportunity, or if it's like a time period of like fruitfulness and like creativity, you know, you're not like, oh, but what if it only came sooner? Like, no, it's like chill out, like calm down, like know that everything will be okay.
Right. In your latest project, Teen Angst, like I see you have, I just not because I just did that, but you have like you have like a big group around you, like your friends out in your video for Canary Yellow. You have like, you know, a lot of like your homies and friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do your friends like, what is their effect on your music, and like what is your environment's like effect on your music and stuff like that? I think that people like when I like create something, I like thinking about how my one friend will react to this, or how this person would think, or I know this person likes this song, so I'm gonna throw it in the mix, like, you know, blah blah blah. Like, do you have that? Do you share that kind of?
I don't share that particular way. I mean, I think I try to react of like more so individual people, groups of people, like, you know, how will my audience, or like a lot of times I would go like to the beach. That's what they call the Quad over at Temple. There's like this place where like whenever it's warm, it's like you can just really feel it up there. And like I would just play my music and like, you know, and like whatever I'm working on at the time, and I'd go there and just like imagine like who can I see them like all like rocking out to this, and I'll just be in the back, you know, just everybody just doing whatever, playing frisbee and, you know, twerking, HBTU, like, and just like, oh, can I see them? And I'm like, yeah, I could definitely see them like rocking out to this. So like I'll do that. However, like how my friends play a part, I don't think they don't play a part within like the actual music making, but just of like my overall look rather. Because like the way that the cover art came about was.
That's a good picture, yo.
Thank you.
I was just like, man, yo, like, what is this group?
Yeah, the photographer is, Mr. Johnson. That's my godfather, Alan Johnson. And I was like, Alan, like, I want to do this. I want to do this shoot. I want to like.
You say he's your godfather?
Yeah, he's my god. So my godmom and my godfather, like, they're a couple, and like I've grown up with them. So like,
it's in your life a lot.
Yeah, so like they've been doing this way before I have been, and like they're seeing me like stepping into it. And so, like, they wherever they can help, it's like, I love them so much. But,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so, so Alan does photography, Christina does cinematography. So, like, that just,
Yeah.
And they're because they're so experienced. Like they're very good at what they do.
Okay.
Because they've been doing it for so long, and like now that I'm stepping into it, I have like I'm just reaping the benefits of like their fruit.
That's a lucky position.
Yeah. So I went to them. I was like, I had this idea for my project called Teen Angst, and it's just like I want to get together a group of friends. Like I met Lieko last year of 2018 of like November. I met her at this OEM event, like social. I met her. It was like a house like social gathering or whatever. And like she came in with like this shawl, this dramatic ass shawl. I was like, bitch, who the fuck are you? Like, who do you think you are? And I was like, yeah. I was like, she just came in just so casually. I'm like, you know, we're gonna be friends, right? She was like, and she just started busting out laughing. I'm looking at her. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, hee hee, ha ha. Right. Yeah, we exchanged numbers, and like that's how I met her. Like people always ask me if I go to UArts. Because like I don't know why my presence is so prevalent there. But
is there like a beef between like Temple Art and like UArt? Like,
maybe about many people will transfer from Temple's art program to like whatever art program they have because they do very good artwork. However, like for design wise, Temple is like they're very like strong in like their design program, which is like. We want to get into how I'm there. Like, like I'm there. I'm like, I don't want to say it. I don't want to get in trouble. But it's like, just know that my mom works there, and there are benefits to that financially. So let's just say that. That's
what's up, though.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I came to him. And I was like, I had this. I knew my friend Nyla. She goes to UArt. Cena. She has like the blonde dreads on the cover.
Okay.
She goes to CCP, and I know Chris and Ivory. The really depressed looking one, and they're both a mess. Like they go to Drexel, and then I met Soup through. How did I meet Soup? That's a mystery. He's a mystery.
Okay.
But yeah, I just met everyone organically. I think I DM'd Soup. I was following him, and then I was like, I really like your look. Like I want you to come out to my shoot
with the chain.
Yes.
Oh, I just saw him in the city.
Yeah, he be around. So that's how
shout out that guy.
Yes, Soup.
Yeah.
That's my guy. Yeah, whenever we link up, it's cool. And he's just always around.
Yeah,
you just always see him around. But yeah, I'm like everything just happened like really organically, and I was like every person represented a different emotion. So like when I texted him, I was like, okay, I want you. I think Cena was like romance. So it's supposed to be like the concept was like the different things that you feel as a teenager. I wanted to like the whole thing is to commemorate my last year of being a teen, which I was 19 at the time.
Okay.
So I was like, I want to call it Teen Angst, and I want to like each song or each person has like their own, you know. So Nyla was vulnerability. I think Lieko was like contempt. So like she just kind of just on there, just kind of like just very content looking.
I didn't
like there were other pictures throughout the shoot that I was supposed to maybe archive by now, but like Soup was Rage, which kind of has like that. I don't know. Everyone fit very well. Like Chris was like the one in the center. He's like emptiness, you know, like that depressive stage. Okay. And then like Ivory, who has a turn out, it's kind of like the promiscuous like side of being like a teen. So like everyone had like their own characteristic throughout the whole entire shoot, and they kept that. And like I was like I had designed this whole cover art and everything like that, like just out of collage. And then my godmom was like that's your cover art right there, like that's it. And so like I went through. I like took out, photoshopped out like whatever changed, whatever was shiny and like just was distracting, and I was just left with that. And
with
I was like,
emotion.
yeah, and I just like I always have like this cover art that I've designed, and then I always end up going photographic anyway, or like Jump was like a mixture of like Photoshop and like that was just done to, like my body. That was just on my phone.
Yeah,
like my friend just took the picture.
Good, yo.
Yeah, so it was like everything is just kind of finessed. So and I was like, art should speak for itself. So like I didn't feel like I need to have any words on it. Like there's Teen Angst is on there, but it's like it's hidden. It's like it's on Ivory's shirt, but you have to look closely. You have to look.
I can look at this again because it's like so different.
Yeah,
I do see it.
Yeah, it says Teen Angst, and then there's the parental at the bottom, but like you wouldn't notice it if you didn't look closely. So it was like
this photo is like, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like it just.
It's real art, man.
And I'm just like I've always like been very like. You don't know it's me on the cover art. You don't know what I look like. So it's like, and it's for people who don't, if you listen to Cross Seas or something, like, you still don't know who the fuck I am. Like, many people think that we're like a group or something. They say like, they think, oh, I thought you guys were a group.
Yeah, I thought I was going to hear like so many people on this thing. And I was
no,
like,
just me.
But it's like, it's good because it's like you look at it, you can just peep like all these emotions, like blah blah blah, and then you listen to music. The music's good. Like, it's a good body of work, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so every song on the like, it's weird. Like, this shouldn't make sense. Like, this project should not make sense because there's nothing pulling it together. There's like a theme of this one nigga. This is just like, he was the constant like driver of like my writing throughout this everything song. So like the lyrics like kind of tied together, but musically, sonically, everyone is like different. Like, each song is literally its own personality, its own like emotion. So like, and it just all made sense to have the cover art. Each one of them is their own emotion. Each song is like their own emotion. So it's just like,
right.
And it all like, yeah, it shouldn't make sense, but it does make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yo, hell yeah. You mentioned Lana Del Rey before as one of your like
early influences.
You got another. I'm gonna ask you two. I'm gonna ask you early influences, and then I'm gonna ask you after that. Well, you can answer after that. Like, what are you listening to now? Like, going in like frontier of music, like looking for new stuff. Like, what have you found recently that you really enjoy? But like, first, what were like the first like, you know, top fives? Like, when you started making music, like, you wanted to channel this, or I wanted to kind of, or I wanted to do this, like this, you know?
Okay, so like, I don't think like really Lana Del Rey. I mean, she inspired like my early stuff, but I don't know. I never saw her as like an influence. It was just mostly like she influenced my character. So like, I guess if that could be like, you know, but earlier
that translates.
Yeah, it does. Like, when I was in middle school, I was super into like Adele, Florence and the Machine, and stuff like that. Hey. So like, just very like dramatic music. Drama has just always been like what I've been drawn to. Not like situationally. No.
Are you sure?
But music, no. But like musically, I've been drawn to like just grander. Like, even this song, at the end, the way that it ends, it's just kind of just like just super duper like dramatic. Yeah, the way this comes in is just like boom.
Yeah.
And just like everything is like very big and like, you know,
symphony sound.
Yeah, just like it's just very grander. So like, but like previously, like realistic, I got into like the internet in high school. I got into Kali Uchis. I really loved her. I like the writing style of Astrid Gilberto. It's like just how she writes very simply and like just it's metaphorical sometimes, but also very simple and very metaphors, and it's just like I love the way, you know, I just love this. Vocally, like I was super into like Mariah Carey and just like a whole lot of like powerhouses. So like a lot of my early music, you'll find like really crazy singing, you know, and like I've kind of learned to like streamline and like send, like, you know what I'm saying, so I can
refine
refine it. Like I'll give you those moments where like, okay, he can sing, you know, but like it doesn't, the whole thing doesn't need to be like, okay, we get it, you can sing, like we get it, you can fucking sing. So
it's definitely like a plus. I mean, and knowing that, because a lot of times people feel like they need to like prove like, yo, I'm doing this, so I'm gonna go and do this, but like the bigger power is to be able to have that, like to have it, like whole, you know. Yeah,
exactly. So it's like, you know, whenever I'm out, you know, if you catch me singing now, like you just catch me singing, like, you know what I'm saying, but like you'll just be like, what you'll get out of me from a track is like something that won't get out of your head, like, you know what I'm saying, like it's just something that'll be stuck in your head. So I don't like, you know.
Yo, but I definitely understand. I like that you said that. I definitely keep that. Listen to like Lila Kisses, like when you first come in with that Lila Kisses, that stuck in my head for like a long time. Like I'm a DJ, so like I like put like music together, and I like always think about what would sound good with this. I don't have your music in my thing, but I always thought sometimes I was like this opener would be sweet right here with this little break in music.
Exactly.
Enough for me. Let's get back to you, but I like that you said that, man.
I like to give out things that you can keep with you. And more recently, I was really super duper inspired by Solange's album.
Okay, the most recent one?
Yes, the most recent one, When I Get Home. And then plus the visual, like visually, like now that like visuals are something that like I take serious now. Like, because I previously didn't. It was just kind of just like, my history was like, many people was like, oh, when are you going to put out a music video, or like, when are you going to put something out? And I was just like, if it doesn't look the way that I want it to look, I won't do it. Like, I just don't. Yeah, I'm just never been a big fan of like I said, trying to rush things.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I just didn't. And like a lot of my peers, like, or like not even peers, like you'll just see a lot of artists have like, you get like really gritty, like this was come up days, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll never have that. Like you won't find that. Like it'll just like,
that's real.
When I think about, I always say about Dim the Lights, my first music video was like, I think that it was conceptually very poor. However, it was shot very well. So it's like, it's like, it's here, but like there.
And it takes those things, but you have to have those videos to have like the yellow canary that or is it canary
yellow, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. The
canary yellow,
because canary yellow is like,
they did that.
Shouts out Powered by Wind too. Like
Powered by Wind, man.
So dope. It is so
both of them is both team, Rich and Jake and Dan and Moch. Like they're all amazing. But yeah, it's like I've been inspired by them. Last year she didn't inspire my music. I had very little inspiration going about this project, which was weird, which was odd. I was like, the inspirations that I did find was in weird places, like Adventure Time, Canary Yellow. Like it was like, I just like Moesha was just for like this song that's about to come on, and then, so just like I was just more like of things that I saw, or like things like there were like moods, like I feel this like Moesha, like it was very like vibey, like how this makes me feel this way. I was inspired by feelings more so than like other people or like other artists. But Maurice, I like her come up, especially during the time of last April was Tierra Whack. Like it was, I really loved like her music. I was like, this is, and I hadn't heard of her before, or I did. I liked the song by her on SoundCloud, but I didn't know it was her.
Mumbo Jumbo?
No, it was like if Crack Don't Get Your Whack Will.
Oh, okay.
That song, I can't remember the name of it, but that song, but I didn't know that was her. And then to see like her whole, I saw Mumbo Jumbo, but I wasn't really into that. And then, because it was what it was, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it's nothing, like I said, I'm all about like takeaways, like you leave away with like something stuck in your head. Yeah. And it just, I couldn't get that, but like from the whole like, visual aspect. I was just like, this is it. Like this is completely it. So that's like, those are like somewhere, and I think I'm more inspired just by my friends. Like literally people around Philly. Like I could literally go on like Philly diet because it's just that much like.
That's what's up.
We all have that much stuff. So, yeah, it's an off topic. Like my friend Alina, she's a dope. She's R&B, but like she's getting into other genres like Leah Neptune. Other artists like Eli Capella and Soraya Nicole, like like they were both like catapulted me into like Philadelphia, because when I first got to college, I like when I was in high school, I like tried to do some World Cafe Live like my open mics, but like nothing that was like really like super duper like. There was no showcases, no nothing like that. It was just me, just like trying to just sing. I just wanted to sing and like get rid of the nerves. Yeah. Like I just wanted. You got that
history of like where to go with it.
Yeah,
too.
like it was like I did a couple of those, and then I got to my godmom was like, you should throw a showcase, and like I was like, oh, okay, and I threw a showcase, and I invited Lava Girl, I had Kill Confirm, I had Eli Capella, Kill Confirm, or Now Free Soul, Maya Simone. So it was like a lot of the people who are like in Philly and like who are becoming more prevalent today, like that's who I had, and they didn't know who the fuck I was, but like when they heard my music, they were like, oh shit, like I should know who this person is, but even though like I would come from the county, like what I'm saying, so. Like those were like my ace boogies, like going into 2017 when I was dropping Jump. Like they were like who I was around a lot very more, and I started to like just learn about more people who are also in Philly and stuff like that. So like Philly they have a lot. There's a lot here.
That's what's up, man. I feel, and I wanted to ask you, I had a question, like I wanted to ask you if you had like a theater background, if you like were ever in like any kind of, I get a theater feel from it. I don't know, you were talking about like the grand, kind of like opening.
I was in choir at that. Okay. Yeah, that's about, it's like,
yeah. I mean,
I'm lying. Okay, so I did take like classes. My mom had me in like some classes at Walnut Theater, when I was like, but I was much younger, and it didn't last very long. Probably financially, that's why I didn't last very long. But like when I was in there, you know, I was a lot. I was dramatic. I was dramatic.
I just get like I don't know. I don't know why I'm saying theater or get a theater vibe, but like when I'm listening to your music, like other day I sat and I just listened to probably for like an hour. You know, I kind of do that doing research for this kind of thing, and I just get like this theater feel, like just like a maybe it's more intimate, you know, like with a stage and then like a light and then an artist singing and then you with your sway, you know what I mean? Like maybe that's what I'm talking about when I'm hearing, I'm kind of visualizing it all. But out of that is there any more aspirations that you have like outside of music that you would be into? Like, you know, you play instruments, you do a lot of your production, you get into video. Is there anything else that you want to endeavor into?
Not that I can. That's also been something that like I've been thinking about lately. It's just like, as I tell my friends all the time, especially my friend Leah, like, you know, she went to UR and then she dropped out, so like she's been working, and so like, you know, like things can, when you're not having like, that's what school is, a great distraction. You know, I think just my design is like what I've like, you know, it's just something that's I have to do. Not that I don't enjoy it, like it's just. It's literally, it's not like as fun as it used to be for me, like, of like trying to, it's like, okay, I'm good at it now, time to find a job. So it's like, I mean, there aren't many things that I can think of right now that I could put my hands to. If I'm not doing music, I'm not doing anything. If I'm not in school or if I'm not like doing something music related, I'm really not doing anything. Maybe I might become a personality. Okay. Maybe do some behind the scenes stuff with like, maybe do some writing for other artists. I see that happening because I don't know why. I mean, I always assumed that everyone wrote their own things, but once I realized
you didn't.
when you realize that's not always the case. And like especially more recently, like I did a whole lot of studying this summer of like. What makes a song a good song, and like, or what makes a melody very good, and like what makes it. Yeah. And so like now, like it's foolproof. Like I literally have a formula. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you won't find a verse now like where it's just like it fell flat, because like I know why. I know exactly why. Why does this work? And so like once I figured that out, I was like, crap. Now I'm bored. Because it's like, now it's just like, because like, there's no more like, you know, songs that could be like, you know, that no more like, you won't find anything that's like, that doesn't make it. Or like, I mean, you will, like, there are more things that are better than others out. That's always going to be a thing, but it's just kind of just like, okay, I guess I should just share this with other artists, or if
try to improve by like involving another ad, you know.
Because that's learning what it was like you have to you get to a long time before you realize that like, okay, why are some songs better than others? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then just start studying, like breaking it down. It was like, oh, this is the reason why.
It had a beginning and a middle.
And it's like
a story.
Even like there has to be like there doesn't have to be any structure like to a song. A lot of my songs is like maybe I put the bridge in the middle, or like in the beginning, or like you can really don't put the bridge at the end and then nothing else happens, or like, you know, like you can really do anything that you want to do, which is what I tell like my percussionist Alex. He plays B-pad for me. Like he also does. He's a rapper, so like he has these notions in his mind. Is like a song has to be 2 verses, 2 choruses, a bridge, and another. Like he has like I'm like dog, like that doesn't.
You can do
whatever you want. And I'm like, and the thing now that's like, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, like, but it's shorter songs are a thing.
Yeah, like the 1 minute and 20 second like.
Yeah, like those
songs.
The SoundCloud songs. See, and if I ever did have a song that was like that short, I may just add another song that's that short too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just like. But
I think Creator kind of did that on Wolf, where he like had like. No, when he shot the video, it was like, oh, he had one song, and then, you know, with the drop off where it was just like instrumental playing, it was just like and then the video just like switched over to another song. It was like a video for 2 songs. You know?
It's like if you got this about to do this big ass or something, you got to shoot a video. It's like that's what happened with Canary Yellow. I was like, this song is short as fuck. I'm gonna have to like add. So I ended up adding a beginning and then like an extra ending. So
this is up.
Yeah.
making that video. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like, did you have a vision for that going in? Like, talk about the collaboration with the operators and stuff.
So I got a weird follow over this last summer. And it was like, I was like this weird person, and it was Rich. I was like, it was one thing. I was like, you do something. But I don't know what it is that you do, but let me follow you back because you do something. I just don't know what it is that you do. Right. And
it's a big follow though, man.
Yeah,
eye for like good music.
Yo, they're ridiculous, but yeah. So like that, like he had posted on his story. I like did my research on like whatever I could find, and I saw that he had worked on videos. I was like, okay, like this is a bit more like abstract or whatever. Like, okay, and I just kept moving, and then he had did this video for Mother's Band, and I thought that was like I was like, okay, I can see this, whatever. And I like gave him a compliment just on the story or whatever, and he was like, hey, like you want to like do some work, and I was like, boom, and I was like, and you know me, like I've been disappointed. I've had the luxury of being disappointed so many times that I don't take anything serious. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And then I got a follow from Jake, and like later or whatever, and then he was like, we want to like do a video for like Canary Yellow, and I was like, oh, okay. So, like, once again, not taking anything serious, because, like, and it's like, okay, let's meet at this time, the first week, I think it was, like, the first week of September or something, and, like, we met then, and, like, I had, like, a piece of an idea, like, the what I had to contribute creatively was, like, the opening scene. Like, I had that written out, like, in my mind. I saw, like, I seen me, like, sitting down solemnly, like, very sadly, and I just like, and the camera like pans out, and it's like two asses, like that's literally what I saw. Yeah. And then like it came to life, and it turned out to be a very great, because the clip that I posted, like to when the video was out, it didn't show that. So like people, when people actually went to the video and saw that opening scene, they were like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, my mom was like, what the fuck is going on?
That's what brought you in though. You're like, all right.
I showed that to my mom before it dropped or whatever. I was like, this is the shit, because she was so disappointed. She was so like distraught. She was like, AnnIN, like, what are you saying? Like, what are you saying about yourself? And she was like, I was just like, but she was going off about it, and I was like, in my head, I'm just like, yeah, it's like, it's about to be some shit. So, and they had their ideas about like they were like more like about like the aesthetic and like the fences, and they saw stuff. I didn't see any of that. Like, I didn't see any of that stuff. So like basically, the only thing I had to offer was like the people and the fashion, like my fashion, like style myself and everything. And like I just showed up to set, like we were just talking about it like for a while, and they were like, okay, like set day is like, we want you to come by before like we start shooting the day before to go come and look at everything. And I was like, okay. So literally that day was we were having like, we do this project in our design program, and it's called the Restaurant Project, and like it's so extensive and it's like very stressful. Like you create your own restaurant identity, you create the website, you create the mobile app, you create collateral and like physicals, and it's just a lot to go through. And so, but that day was like the awards for it, so it was over that day. And so I literally came to the awards late, like I'm a fucking joke to this people like in that department. Like I'm like, because I like, listen, I find that typically people, students, college students, and more on the particularly the white students are like very like, they don't want to call out anything. They rather just take it and just not say anything about it. I'm not that person. Like if I see something, like my teacher, the professor, like we got into a whole argument. I ended up cursing him out. I'm not that person. And like it's not. I don't do it like very aggressively. I'll just casually like say like,
be like
what the like, please watch your fucking mouth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what, like, you know what I'm saying? I just casually do stuff. And he was a very expressive person. I feel like he's like a Cancer or some shit like that. But like, and I'm a very calm person, and I'm just so calmly like just disagreeing with him, and I'm just like, you don't do this, and da 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 da, and I'm just saying what everybody else is scared to say. It was on a one-on-one session, like it wasn't. I didn't embarrass him or anything like that. I won't do that, but I'm the problem child of the graphic design program, I guess you could say. Like, I'm like, I don't care enough to be the problem child. Yeah. So, I
mean, it's kind of hard when you try to, not to stop from where we were going. It's kind of hard when you try to like fit like art or like people's art into like a small little institutional box.
Right, and it's just like I just don't care that much. Like I don't
Yeah.
care about this. Like I think that's what gets them so upset is that the fact that like I don't care enough and whatever. Like I do what I have to do to get by, and then it's just like I just whatever. But so I was like the award ceremony for that show was that day, and then right after I was on my way, I had already came. I was like. An hour. I came at the end of the they had already done everything. I don't feel like sitting through that shit. So I just came later and I walked in. Everybody was looking at me, and I had like my outfit or whatever that goes to the shoot, and I'm just like late. And everybody just looking at me. I'm just walking out. I'm like, you hear something? And so I went from there and then went over to the studio. And, like, I walked in, like, I had expecting, like, not knowing anything to expect, and with, like, this humongous-ass film studio. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. And I was immediately, like, triggered. That's when I had ended up, at first, I only had, like, one butt. I only had one butt, which was Leah. And then I called my friend Lieko. I had asked her that week. I was like, hey, you want to come by to the shoot? Because she wasn't in the Dim Lights video. So I was like, oh, okay, that would be something, a new face. From the cover or like from the actual cover that'll be there. But then once I got there, I was like, oh shit, this was like some T-Hero Act type shit. Like I saw like the house, the whole entire house that was like built there. And
so they built that entire thing.
It was, I think it was like they had just had hella shit in the film studio and they were like basically using their resources. That's what the entire video was. We were just all using resources that we had. And so I was like, holy shit. And so I called Zay, which is one of the people in the video who I'm like we talk like through social media and stuff like that, and we've seen each other in person and it's always a good time. But I was like Zay, like I need people like for this video, like I need you to bring your crew because like. I need y'all need to come through.
Yeah,
like this is like right. I like this is I feel like this is going to be something that's going to be very important. And he was like word and like so literally it was like we already getting our nails done like him and all the niggas they was already in the nail salon getting their hair done and getting their hair cut. And then like they all took off work the next day for the weekend and they just came by. So I had Leah, Lieko, I had CJ Moses, Brandon, and Zay and. If I'm missing anybody else, please forgive me. But and me, that was just me. So yeah, so like they all came through, like they just to see them come out the car and like just all in heels, like they were like just I was like in the middle of North Philly, like they just walked out and just like and just when they were already like had all the makeup done and like it was just I was so nervous, I was so scared because I'm like y'all are such bad bitches, like I'm like wow.
That's power though.
Yeah, it was so much power, the power that they had in like in their steps, and like they came with a suitcase just full of like clothes and just like and they just I said here's your room, like your dressing room, like just take you however you like to, and like Jake and Rich like and they were just like okay like. They're there. So like it was just kind of just me from that point. We're just like I just was just there. We did all the scenes with everybody else on one day, and then that Sunday on the Saturday, and then that Sunday it was like with that big backdrop with the house, and then there was like the this scene where I was on the lift. That scene. So like it was just more like the scenes that were just like just me. Like we shot those and whatnot. So yeah.
That's what's up, yo. It came together to be a very cool video, man.
Yeah, it was really, really like I set the standard for myself.
Yeah, now you gotta beat it. Think about that.
Right. So I was just like, I didn't even realize. I'm like, fuck.
Now you gotta go do it 5 more times. Jesus. And shit. Do you want to do video projects for like not every song, but like how important is it to do a video project for? It
wasn't important before. Like you know what I'm saying. Before it was just like the music. Like I mean, the music will always be like to the forefront because that's what I do. But like it's like that was just like something that you think about while I'm making something. I'm like, okay, what could be a concept for this? So like before, like you know, when you're making something, you always see stuff, and especially me, I have synesthesia, where it's like I literally see colors when I close my eyes and like listen to music. I can like physically see the colors and stuff like that. So like I see color schemes, which is why the color that I saw for Canary Yellow was Canary Yellow, which is I was like it's so strong. Like I just have to call it this, and so like. A lot of times the colors like would just take over and like I can like okay well what is green and like what is gray. I see a lot of like grays and stuff like that. So like it is something like I think about now more, I guess. But it's like the music will always has to come first.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it was really good having you on, man.
Yeah,
like,
thank you.
This is like really. I look forward to doing this interview, and like your music's great, and like your stuff's. I'm looking forward to what you got coming on in the future. Speaking of that, can you give us any like hints? What's coming up next? You got.
I don't know if I can say it, but let's just say paper magazine. Let's just say that, and I'm gonna leave it there.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said let's just say paper magazine.
Paper magazine.
I'm gonna just leave it there. I'm gonna leave that there. But I would definitely I'm gonna be whatever I release next, whenever it comes out, it'll be a solo project.
Okay.
So no features. Just a solo. It'll be
more solo than what it already is.
I had the, I bring people, like Jump was like, I had 4 featured artists, and then Teen Inks I had 2. Yeah, so yeah, but like this time it'll be an actual EP, like 7 or 8 tracks, and they're all gonna be very, very good. Like I already have the music. We're rehearsing the music for it in like our rehearsals and stuff like that. Okay. And it's already like super duper like, it's just gonna be good.
There's gonna be some dope shit.
It's gonna be some fire shit, some shit to dance to. Like it's a whole lot of dance shit. I'm like, I did not know that I could make this much dance music.
Okay.
A lot of it.
There you go.
Yeah,
it's
like
now you're gonna end up being a
no. Oh, I'm gonna find a way to sway because I'm not a dancer. Like people gonna be in the crowd like dancing the hardest shit, and I'm gonna be on the stage just like swaying, just like
go on, dance.
That's what I do. But yeah, I have the rest of March is like pretty booked up. Or like I have booked, so I have the show. From 9 to 5 for 9 to 5
Culture Series. Yeah,
that's next Saturday.
Dom Culture Series.
Yes, Dom. I met him at Kingsley Eboniche's listening party, and it's like Kingsley was like, anybody else, if you want to play some unreleased stuff, just play it. And I was like, I literally played 2 seconds of like something that's literally unreleased, and like they were like, what the fuck? And I was like, nice. So, like that's a nice. Yeah, but and then I just I just stopped it like 40 seconds in, and they were like, oh my god, like this is. You got to finish it because it wasn't finished. I didn't have the verse, and I just played it. But and I met him there, and he was like, "Yeah, like we're having a show. Like we want you to come through." I was like, "Okay, sure."
Yeah.
And then the 25th, that Monday, oddly, we'll be at Sofa Sounds, and that'll be somewhere in. That's all I can say is somewhere in Philly. But
definitely gotta look out for
the
dates,
look out for that. For the where the win is there, but like the where. So that's how they roll.
And where can we find your music online? I know.
Yeah.
I know we have the Spotify, right? And then the SoundCloud under AnnonXL.
AnnonXL, AnnonXL. Please do not listen to my music on SoundCloud if you can help it. Like, it's there. It'll be there.
Right.
But like, don't do it because artists, I mean, a lot of artists have jobs and stuff like that. So like, that's not like my.
They don't have they have the monetization thing right now, don't they?
But you have to be like at a certain point.
Okay.
So like, I'm not big enough to. I don't have.
Booty.
It's booty. Like I tried to like see what was up with it. They were like, oh yeah, not yet.
Okay.
I was like, fuck you. Like,
so you prefer people listen to?
Please, listen to it. If you have Google Play, if you have Amazon Music, if you have Tidal, like. Wherever you stream your music or
Apple
any
Music,
or not
Spotify?
even Apple Music, Spotify, not even just me, like any other artists that are local, like if they they spend the money for it to be free and for it to be like available to your reach,
That's super interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know like because I find everything to SoundCloud.
Yeah, and I mean but like SoundCloud is weird because you'll find typically the best of like, I'm not gonna say artists, but like you'll find artists. And even if they've like moved on from that time period, you'll find their most like
their stuff.
You'll find their best. Maybe sometimes what could be considered maybe their best work, or like because it's like that's where they started. Like 2015, 2016, SoundCloud was everything. Like that was SoundCloud's like peak. So it's like you'll find a lot of the music that they did then, and it's like wow, like so like SoundCloud is good for what it is. But like once those artists once they do make the switch over, make sure like you keep up with them. Maybe like if people don't usually think like they only think within that platform. So like if you find an artist on Spotify, they only exist to you within Spotify. Like and then I met this, I didn't meet her, but like this girl, OG Lullabies, she's from DC, and I listened to her for like the longest time since February, and I didn't go and follow her until like months later because like she only existed to me in my mind on Apple Music. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the fallacy of this technology and like
So like but like people think like artists pay the money for it to be free. Like even if they you can buy it or whatever, but like they'll still put it on SoundCloud just for accessibility and for to build their fan base. But like don't forget that.
Right.
Just don't like let me see if it's on because
get them on these bigger
platforms. I have music. Like, are they on there? And just look them up, and then most of the time you'll find like, oh shit, let me just add this here and listen and monetize there.
I remember that, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Yes.
This is great.
And it's still very nice outside. It doesn't rain yet.